Hello, this presentation is brought to you by Esther, Emma, Christian, Sharon, and Tamia. As the administrative team in the Georgia State Prison Education Project, we hope that we would be able to relay this information to you effectively to impact the prison system that operates in the present using the resources that you guys have. We want to present to you the difference in the Scandinavian prisons in Europe to the prison complexes that we have here in America, hoping to see future improvement. If recidivism rates are an indicator of the effectiveness of a prison system, then a closer look at more progressive models of incarceration might be a good idea when considering how we may reform the U.S. prison systems to function more effectively. There seems to be a number of Scandinavian countries who have a better understanding of how to handle individuals who have engaged in criminal behavior when you consider their ability to stay out of prison after serving their sentence and even impacting lives that contribute to society instead of burdening it. One commonality that these more progressive models have is that they allow those serving in sentences with more autonomy and a little more freedom. It's believed that this approach can be more reformative, that it allows the offender to reflect on their own behavior instead of pushing back on an oppressive system that threatens to rob them of their basic human dignity. All right, looking at the Netherlands prison model, it seems to be under the federal government. They have open, semi-open, and closed prison systems, and the death penalty is never used. It's also very rare for a life sentence to be called, and even those incarcerated in the Netherlands with life sentences have the chance to be pardoned or receive early release. The prisoners in open prisons get weekend furloughs or monthly, depending on the length of their sentence, mental health, and good behavior in prison. O'Connor also mentions that vocational and educational programs in the Netherlands are typically inadequate because they have very short sentences. The incarcerated in open prisons have the opportunity to receive educational externally during furlough as requested, and the prisoners have the option to work inside or outside the prison walls. The prisoners are required to participate in rehabilitative programs through participation in activities like reading, film, music, lectures, and other performances. The system allows the incarcerated access to quality psychiatric and medical care to help rehabilitation. Lastly, they are allowed frequent communication with family and friends, including regular visitation to reinforce their humanity. In Norway, the lawmakers and wardens begin designing prisons to help provide humanity's mental recovery and obtain their ethical choices on supporting inmates. Halden's prison, for example, is designed to recreate cells and hallways into hotel-made bedrooms, gyms, common areas for inmates, interaction on education, and other activities. The system includes outdoor windows, gardens, and artwork that help improve inmates' recovery from traumatic stress, torments, and punishment, in which the U.S. prisons do not share the same values. With approximately 20% of recidivism rates, Norway's crime rates start to decline dramatically, partly because of the lawmakers' successful efforts on reconstructing the prosperity of prisoners' complexities, in which it helps provide inmates for their mental health recovery, education improvements, and other activities. Educational requirements are also recommended for inmates to help validate their role in serving humanity and social interactions, as well as providing medical treatment and therapy-based systems. The graph shows that the percentage of the mass incarceration in the United States is most likely to increase, whereas Norway and other European countries are more stable than ever. The data map shows that less than 1% of the prisoners ratio is less than any other European countries, which means that the recidivism in Norway is most likely to decrease if the prison structure of mistreatment and cruelty has disaffected the inmates mentally. Sweden's prison system is said to be one of the best rehabilitation prisons around the country. They have shown to give many prisoners better lives. The rehabilitation method is achieved by giving the inmates sufficient library access to university courses and apprentice courses, and learning a range of skills. Swedish prisoners are trained to be physical laborers, craftsmen, as well as careers in academia. Their way of rehabilitation not only gives them access to education, but also helps them prepare for what they will face in reality. In Finland, a good example of an open prison is the Suomenlinna prison. It's one of many prison systems in the country of Finland. The prison system is very different from the ones that you may see in America. They have 0.06% of the country in prison compared to America, which has 0.08%. And an open prison is any jail in which the prisoners are trusted to complete their sentence with minimal supervision and perimeter security, and are often not locked up in their prison cells. The idea of open prison is to rehabilitate prisoners rather than to punish them. It gives them a feel of what it's really important in life and what real life will be like when being released. In this prison, they The prison housed up to 100 men, paid $10 an hour to clean the facility or help with gardening, from which they were paid for, and had liberties like supervised camping and trips. When comparing these 4 country prison systems to the United States prison system, the clear pattern emerges. Rehabilitation is a priority in the Scandinavian countries, resulting in lower recidivism rates, whereas punishment tends to take precedence in U.S. model, leaving prisoners little support in developing themselves and toward being healthy, contributing members of society. The longer prison sentence became a trend during the 3 Strikes campaign, resulted in low-risk offenders mingling with and learning from high-risk offenders, increasing the chances that low-risk offenders will then become high-risk offenders. Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Netherlands have a shorter sentence for similar offenses, which increase the offender's chance of returning to a normal life after the time is being served. We would hope that after learning about the clear contrast between the difference between the prison models, there would be a change in our prison models for a betterment of our community. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or email us. Thank you so much.